Episode 10. Peace when the numbers drop. Welcome back. Today we're talking about something that can shake even the most anchored heart, the numbers dropping. Whether it's hemoglobin, platelets, white blood cells or neutrophils, those lab results can start to feel like a report card for your life. A measurement, not just of your body, but of your hope, your progress, and your future. And when they drop, something shifts inside. Your heart sinks before your mind can catch up. Your thoughts start racing. Why did this happen? Is this getting worse? What does this mean next? Fear creeps in quietly. Anxiety starts to build. Doubt begins to whisper. And suddenly, numbers on a page feel heavier than they should. But there's a truth we have to come back to again and again. Those numbers are information. They are not your identity. They are not your worth. And they are not the final word over your life. They matter, yes. They guide decisions. They help your medical team know what to do next. But they do not define who you are, and they do not determine the presence of God in your life. Because it's so easy, especially in seasons like this, to let your peace rise and fall with your labs. Good numbers make you feel hopeful. Lower numbers, your peace disappears. And before you know it, your emotional and spiritual stability is tied to something that can change week to week and sometimes day to day. That's exhausting, and it's not where your peace was meant to come from. Maintaining peace when the numbers are low doesn't mean you ignore reality. It doesn't mean you pretend the results don't matter. It doesn't mean you don't feel disappointment or concern. It means you refuse to let those numbers have authority over your inner world. It means you acknowledge them, but you don't surrender to them. It means creating a pause between the result and your reaction. A moment where you can say, yes, this is not what I hoped for. Yes, this is hard to see, but this is not the end of my story. Because numbers fluctuate, but truth remains. Your body may feel uncertain, but God is not. Your labs may go down, but His presence does not. Your situation may shift, but His promises do not. And sometimes peace looks like a very simple, very intentional choice. Choosing not to spiral, choosing not to assume the worst, choosing not to let fear take over the narrative in your mind. Instead, you ground yourself. You breathe, you pray, you come back to what is steady. You remind yourself, I am more than these numbers. I am still held. There is still a plan, even if I don't understand it right now. Because peace in the season is not found in stable lab results. It's found in a stable foundation. And when that foundation is deeper than the numbers, when it's rooted in faith, in truth, in something unchanging, that even when the numbers drop, you don't have to. Numbers are not the final word. When I was first diagnosed with MDS, I quickly learned this. Numbers are information, not identity. At the beginning, that wasn't easy to separate. Every lab result felt personal. Every drop felt like a setback, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. I felt like the numbers were telling a story about me. But over time, I began to see the truth more clearly. Numbers inform your care. They do not define your life. Low numbers don't erase the miracles already present. They don't erase the strength it took to get to today. They don't erase the prayers that have been answered, the moments of grace, the ways God has already carried you through. Low numbers don't cancel God's faithfulness. His faithfulness is not measured by your lab results. It is not stronger on good days and weaker on hard days. He is steady and constant. Acknowledge the reality. It's okay to notice when the numbers drop. You don't have to look away. You don't have to minimize it or pretend it doesn't matter. These numbers are part of your journey, and paying attention to them is wise. It's okay to feel concerned. Concern is not a lack of faith. It's a natural response to something that matters. It means you're aware, engaged, and present in your own care. It's okay to adjust plans, to reschedule, to slow down, to say, not today. There is strength in adapting. There is wisdom in listening to your body and honoring what it needs in this moment. It's okay to take precautions, to protect your energy, to be mindful of exposure, to rest when rest is required. These are not signs of weakness. They are acts of stewardship over your health. Peace does not require pretending. It does not ask you to deny what is real. It does not ask you to silence your concerns or ignore what your body is going through. Real peace is honest. It looks at the situation clearly and says, yes, this is where things are right now, and then it chooses not to let that reality take over everything else. Because there's a difference between acknowledging reality and surrendering to fear. Acknowledging reality says, this is happening and I will respond wisely. Surrendering to fear says, this is happening and everything is falling apart. One keeps you grounded, the other pulls you into a spiral. And the space between those two responses is where peace lives. You can sit with the facts and still hold on to hope. You can feel concern and still choose calm. You can make adjustments and still trust that your life is not out of control. Peace is not found in avoiding hard truths. It's found in facing them while staying anchored. Anchored in truth, anchored in faith, anchored in peace, anchored in the quiet confidence that even here, even now, you are not alone. So yes, notice the numbers. Yes, take care of yourself. Yes, respond with wisdom. But don't give fear the final word, because you can fully acknowledge what is happening without letting it define how you walk through it. How I maintain peace. Yes, what helps me when numbers dip, not because it removes the difficulty, but because it keeps me grounded in the middle of it. Number 1, focus on what I can control. There is so much in this journey that is outside of your control. Lab values can shift, responses to treatment can vary, timelines can change without warning, but not everything is out of your hands. I cannot control every lab value, but I can follow my treatment plan with consistency and trust. I can rest when my body asks for it instead of pushing past my limits. I can nourish my body with what it needs, and my spirit with what sustains it. Focusing on what I can do brings me back into a place of stability. It shifts me from helplessness to intentional living. Even small choices matter, yeah? And those small choices remind me I am still participating in my own care, not just reacting to it. Number 2, reframe the numbers. It's easy to let a low number feel like an emergency in your mind, even when it's something your medical team is already prepared to address. So I've learned to pause and reframe. Instead of letting a low number become a crisis, I see it as information. Information that helps guide my next step. Information that tells me what my body needs today. It might mean I need to rest more. It might mean I need support like a transfusion. It might mean I need to be more cautious. But it doesn't mean everything is falling apart. That shift matters, because when I see it as guidance instead of danger, it reminds me to be careful, but it doesn't push me into despair. Number 3, anchor in God's faithfulness. When the present feels uncertain, I look back. I remind myself of every time God has already carried me, every transfusion that came at the right time, every moment of strength when I thought I had none, every peaceful night that followed a hard day, every conversation, every embrace, every small victory along the way. Those moments are not random. They are evidence. Evidence that I am not walking this alone. Evidence that God has been present in every step so far. And if He has been faithful then, He will be faithful now. Anchoring in His past faithfulness strengthens my trust for today. Number 4, breathe and reset. Sometimes the most powerful thing I can do is the simplest. When anxiety starts to rise, when my thoughts begin to race ahead of me, I stop. I don't try to solve everything in that moment. I don't let my mind run unchecked. I pause. I breathe slowly, deliberately, deep enough to calm my body, not just my thoughts. And in that pause, I reset. I bring myself back to the present moment, back to what is true right now, not what fear is projecting into the future. And I whisper truth. My steps are ordered. Peace is mine today. Not tomorrow, not when the numbers improve. Today. Because peace is not something I earn when things stabilize. It's something I choose right here, even when they haven't. These practices don't eliminate the reality of low numbers, but they change how I walk through them. They keep me steady. They keep me anchored. They remind me that even when things dip around me, I don't have to. Protect your mind. Fear wants access. Doubt wants a voice. They don't usually come in loudly at first. They slip in quietly. A thought, a question, a what if that lingers just a little too long. And if we are not careful, those small openings can become doorways. That's why you have to be intentional about what you allow in. Because not every thought deserves your attention. Not every conversation deserves your agreement. Not every piece of information deserves space in your mind. You are not powerless here. You get to choose what you dwell on. You get to decide what takes root. That doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you guard your inner world. Limit excessive research that triggers worry. There is a difference between being informed and being overwhelmed. At some point, more information doesn't bring peace. It only feeds anxiety. If you notice your heart racing after reading, scrolling, or searching, that's a signal. It's okay to step back. You don't have to carry every possible outcome in your mind. Limit doom-filled conversations. Some conversations don't bring clarity, they bring heaviness. They magnify fear instead of grounding you in truth. It's okay to gently redirect. It's okay to protect your space. It's okay to say, I can't go there right now, because peace requires boundaries. Limit ruminating on what if. What if can become a loop that never ends. What if it gets worse? What if this doesn't work? What if? And before you know it, you are living in a future that hasn't happened. But what if has an opposite? What is true right now? Right now you are here. Right now you are breathing. Right now you are held. That's where peace lives, in the present, not in imagined futures. So when those thoughts try to take over, don't just push them away. Replace them. Replace it with prayer. Turn your thoughts into a conversation with God. Instead of carrying the weight internally, release it outward. God, this is what I'm afraid of. This is what I don't understand. I'm giving it to you. Prayer shifts the burden. Replace it with gratitude. Even in hard seasons, there is still something to notice, something to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't deny the struggle, it balances it. It reminds your heart, there is still good here. Replace it with reminders of truth. Speak what is steady. Speak what is unchanging. I am not alone. This moment is not the whole story. God is still faithful. Peace is still available to me, because your mind is the gatekeeper of your peace. What you allow in will shape what grows inside. And this isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it intentionally. Catching the thoughts that don't serve you. Redirecting the ones that pull you down. Choosing again and again to fill your mind with what anchors you instead of what unsettles you. Because when you guard your mind, you protect your peace. And in a season like this, that peace is not small. It is everything. Remember, this is not the finish line. Low numbers may mean adjustments. They may mean your plan shifts, your pace slows, your day looks different than you expected, and that's okay. Adjustments are not failure. They are wisdom in motion. They are your body and your care team working together, responding in real time, guiding you step by step. Low numbers may mean caution. It may mean protecting your energy more intentionally, being mindful of where you go, how much you do, and what your body is asking for. Caution is not weakness. It's not retreat. It's awareness. It's care. It's strength expressed in a quieter, more intentional way. But low numbers do not mean the journey is over. They do not erase progress. They do not cancel possibility. They do not determine the end of your story. They are a moment, a measurement, a snapshot, not the full picture. In one case, high numbers can change everything in a treatment plan. When I had my bone marrow biopsy in February, it showed that my blast cells had increased from 2% to 8%. That shift may seem small to some, but medically it was significant. It led my doctors to make the decision that a bone marrow transplant was now the next step. At first, I wasn't prepared for that news. It was a shock. But after taking time to process it, I reminded myself of something important. This is the path to my healing. Even though it's not easy, even though it's not what I expected, this step is not the end of my story. It's part of my journey toward restoration and healing. And I'm choosing to trust that. Because healing, management, and resilience don't happen all at once. They happen day by day. Some days look strong. Some days look slower. Some days require more support than others. But every day still matters. Every step forward, even the small, unseen ones, counts. Every moment of rest, every act of care, every decision to keep going is part of the journey. Resilience is not built in perfect conditions. It's built right here, in the adjustments, in the pauses, in the choosing to continue even when things don't look the way you hoped. And this is where faith becomes more than words. Faith says, I do not know tomorrow, but I know who holds it. It releases the need to have all the answers. It lets go of trying to predict every outcome. It rests in something deeper than certainty. Because the truth is, tomorrow has always been unknown, but it has never been unheld. So even when the numbers shift, even when plans change, even when the next step is a bone marrow transplant, even when the path feels uncertain, you are still carried. You are still guided. You are still within a story that is unfolding one day at a time. And today, this day is enough. Take the next step. Make the next adjustment. Choose the next moment of trust. Because your journey is not defined by a number. It is shaped by how you keep walking forward through it. If your numbers drop today, I want you to hear this slowly, clearly, and in a way that settles your heart. You are not defined by them. Not by a result, not by a trend, not by what the report says today. Those numbers reflect your body in a moment. They do not define your worth, your identity, or your future. Your peace is not lost because of them. Peace is not tied to stability in your labs. It's tied to stability in your foundation. Even if your emotions feel shaken, your peace is still available to you. You can return to it. You can choose it again. Your hope is not cancelled because of them. Hope does not expire when numbers drop. It doesn't disappear when things don't look the way you want it. Hope is deeper than circumstances. It remains, even here. You can anchor in truth, even in the storm. Not by ignoring what's happening, but by choosing what holds you steady within it. When fear starts to rise, when your thoughts begin to race, when the what-ifs try to take over, come back to what is true. You are still here. You are still held. This moment is not the end of your story. And then slow it down. Breathe. Not rushed, not shallow. Deep, steady breaths that bring your body back to calm. Pray. Not perfectly, not with the right words. Just honestly, simply, God, I need you right now. Trust, even if it's a small, quiet trust, even if it's just enough for this moment, and then move forward, moment by moment. Not all at once, not trying to solve tomorrow, just the next step, the next breath, the next choice to stay grounded. Because even if the numbers drop, you don't have to. You can stay anchored. You can stay steady. You can keep moving forward right here, right now. And that is more powerful than any number could ever be. If this helped you stay anchored in the midst of fluctuating numbers, share it with someone who needs peace today. Like it by clicking the thumbs up, follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.